a team we have to talk about now. It's the weekly Hate on Excel segment because we've got some extra content on this one we're going to go into. But basically, people don't know. Excel, we talked about the swap last week. Advien went out. Obviously, he wrote like his little sob story. It was pretty sad, I have to say. I felt pretty hard done by. He did a good job nailing all the points, Like, essentially, he was like, I hope to sort of grow into a good player. They didn't give me that chance. Like, yeah, well played. They brought in Mickey X, who, listen, on paper, yes, of course, great player, blah, blah, blah. Many reasons you'd bring him in. But this is the new drama. First of all, they lost immediately to Mad Lions, which looked pretty fucking suspect. And then they beat a bad team. So I can't really say we've done anything with the move yet. Like, it's not like it's already won. It's like, yeah, it's all looking up. So it's questionable already, the move still. And then the more important part is, you showed me this. There's an interview on esports.com with Patrick, obviously, in theory, the best player on the team, if you look at history. And obviously the player they basically built around for the last few years. And you would expect, right, if you think about the way usually team orgs either A, for real do it, or B, message it, you're normally meant to always claim that the players were on board with the move. It's why I've even actually, as a sidebar, sometimes made fun of people with it. Like, but the players said it was good. It's like, I don't give a fuck what the players say. What if what if they're wrong? But in this case, Patrick essentially says, I mean, he tries to soft sell it a little bit by making it sound like, but Big X is good or whatever. It basically sounds like, if I read between the lines, he didn't make this choice. I think he's implying he wouldn't have made this choice. And it sounds like the whole team wouldn't have made the choice. And actually, whether for right or wrong, they would have stuck with Advien. And I think if you look at the fact that lost most of the games, if Mickey X doesn't really work out, this could kill the team, dude. I have that vibe about the sort of, there's something, even he wasn't that harsh in the interview. People go and read it, but I would get a bad vibe when I was reading his response, mate.
Yeah, I feel like there's more, maybe not a rift between the team, but a rift between management and the team, because I feel like when you're on a team, there's a certain unspoken contract between you and your organization where it's you're going to have some level of faith in us to show you what we can do. And then at times where there needs to be changes, everyone will feel it. It's if we don't deliver a certain level of result, sure, you can, make whatever changes you think are needed. But in reality, players want to have time to actually show what they're worth. And clearly 2 weeks is not enough to fucking show if this roster was going to work or not. And even in those 2 weeks, they did have good moments. It's not like you could say, oh, this team is going to be fucking shit forever. No. When we discuss them on the show, we're like, yeah, they're probably fighting 6th or 7th, fighting for 6th or 7th place with Misfits. That was the tier that we put them in. So for me, the biggest issue of this whole situation is when he's talking about it, in this interview, he says, yeah, Mickey X is a little bit more quiet than Advien, which is to me the most damning part.
Weird comment, isn't it? Yeah.
The way that they tried to sell Mickey X to us was he's the one with the winner's mentality. Yes. He's going to inject that. But if you have somebody who has that mentality or whatever, and they're just super fucking quiet in the game, what good does that do? How does that actually help the team improve? So to me, it just becomes weirder and weirder the way that we have the swap. And then also, I don't know if Patrick should say that, honestly. I feel
it's a bit wild. Yeah. You're gambling that now Mickey X feels a bit off, right?
Exactly. That's the issue is at this point, what's done is done. You have Mickey X on your team. You don't have Advien on your team. I feel like making Mickey X feel at home, I would fucking lie to that guy's face. If he showed up next to me, I'd be like, thank God you're here, Mickey, man. I was telling management, I can't wait until we have a player like you. I would want this guy to be on my side the entire time. I wouldn't want to... Sure. To tell him hey man, welcome to the team. By the way, none of us wanted you here. You see all four of us. Yeah, we all fucking hate you. But since you're here, we're going to try our best. Anyways, load into the fucking game. I feel like that's not when he's going to be succeeding or he's going to be in his putting his best foot forward. So to me, the issue is just I can understand him feeling like that. And I can understand that being the truth. I don't think it's a good idea to publicize that. When your teammate can just fucking read that shit. It's oh, so you guys didn't want me here. Okay, nice. That must feel pretty fucked.
Dude, for me, that's also another area, though, where it's cultural difference. Again, if you notice the sort of area, I think Patrick is from the Czech Republic. Am I right on that? Yeah. I think he is, right? These are also, that was where Freeze was from. These are also those countries, a bit like Perks from Croatia. They add a bit more. They just their logic, it's a bit like me. They just think, right, if I tell the truth, but it is the truth, then somehow it'll all work out. And it does in some ways, but the problem is it works out eventually. It doesn't always work out now. There's a reason why people do white lies and they tell you something that's not quite true, but they don't want to hurt your feelings, because as you're saying in this scenario, it's not even the beginning of the split, dude. Like if at the beginning of the split, you could get a few games in, we win a cup. You're already under the fucking hammer, as it were. Like you're down in the league. By the way, we've just listed all those other teams that are looking way better, including Misfits. Like at this point in time, you guys need to rapidly turn the split around. You need to start getting like the 75% win rate now if you want to be competent and actually like challenge for the top spot. So to me, either like it works out amazingly, which I can only see, like you said, Smicky X, pretty quiet guy. It has to come from him literally just popping the fuck off himself, or yeah, you're right. Maybe I want to say kill the team because that makes it sound like the team itself implodes. I mean, kill the team more like no one's going to believe in the coaching staff, are they? Because the problem with that move is this: it's the difference between players and coaches, right? A coach, in theory, there's actually a move Bill Belichick was infamous for in the NFL. If they really believe it's just the better move long term, they sometimes do it and say, "I'll take it on the chin if it doesn't work initially." And even if I've sort of let a good player go, like if people don't know, Bill Belichick legitimately let Randy Moss go when he was still like one of the best wide receivers in the whole fucking NFL. Spoiler, he was right. He went to the next year. I think it was the 49ers. He was just done. He was just done after that. But the problem is, if you're the teammates of that guy, this is a thing I want to quickly get into with you. I've noticed teammates, it's not like they remember every game they played with you, but they remember all the good moments, either how it felt like it was cool to be your teammate or a great moment in the game, like you did something amazing, you synced up with them. And that's why they can often seem, quite frankly, like idiots when they hold on to a player for too long, because in their mind, they're still romanticizing, but if he can get back to, it's like Wonder, but if he ever gets back to that, or if he does what he's doing in scrims, dude, you don't know, he'll tear the league up. And so they'll hold on way longer than a coach will. So the problem I have with it is, like, obviously it depends on the specific case. Sometimes the coaches are right. I've seen them do moves that were upgrades that maybe someone else wouldn't do. Maybe they like that player and thought he's good. The killer words, he's good enough. They do that, Sometimes you have to do it. My problem in this one is it seems like everyone's on a different page. Like there's one thing as well I want to know, dude. Where the fuck's Mickey X with this? How does he actually feel? Because we never know, right? He was already a guy where he always seemed, this is what's weird, even though he has a funny sense of humor, even when G2 with the Kings, he always had like a very quiet vibe even then, He's more the guy who like laughs at a joke rather than gets involved in it,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that it's definitely a rough spot to be Mickey X. And yeah, I mean, one thing I wanted to talk about is like, I don't even know if it's the coaching staff that made this move. I mean, a lot of what I'm hearing when I hear like upper management, I'm thinking about like people way above coaching staff. So maybe the coaching staff didn't even want this either. So this might be like a completely like weird divide between.
If people don't know as well, I believe the owner of Excel's a guy that I don't know. He's from like UK esports. He's from like other games. I think he might be from Call of Duty or something, dude. I'm not even dissing the guy or anything. But as a result, that's a move where I wonder, did he just like do the Liquipedia move of like, this guy's a champion, let's get him in this guy will sell all spots. But yeah, if you're a player, you're like, bro, like it's not as simple as just plugging him in. Like we have to know that he's going to bring something to the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And then I think the other part is like, I wonder how much of that is like when Patrick says something like that publicly, trying to be like fair to Advian, like to have like his like friend or like his former.
He's doing him a favor.
Yeah, like do him a favor. Like I think
you could even argue, by the way, he might naively think by saying this he'll help Adrian get in another team. It's just he might not have thought of the consequence on his own team.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's something else that's being considered. But yeah, I mean the whole thing is super weird. I mean, obviously they've only played together 1 week.
Yeah,
you can't make too big judgments. I mean, they just look like the same fucking team. If you told me Advian played another week, I would have believed you. Like I didn't see any noticeable difference. Also, like the shot calling was just them flipping it at Baron like consistently. They flipped it at Baron like 3 different times in 2 games. Nice. Like, all right, nice. We've fixed our Baron situation. So for me, I don't really know what to make of it. I haven't seen.
Well, here's the thing, Dom. Yet. Next week they play Rogan Fnatic. So here's the thing. Unless they heavily fucking level up, the split's basically almost done. Like, look, again, it's a world where if you look how bad the bottom teams are, well, we'll get to BDS. So tell you what, we'll probably transition that next because BDS for now look like they could take their fucking lunch. So I think next week, Excel's done unless they turn this shit around, mate.
Oh, I maybe. Oh, let me look at their schedule. Okay, so they have Rogue first and then Fnatic. Yeah, no, I think that it's actually going to be almost.
That's fucking hard, mate.
It's almost impossible to win any of those games like in their current form. They're going to need like some massive draft edge or like Nuke Duck Vigar. It's going to have to be the perfect Vigar game. It's going to be something strange to really make this work. I think that they kind of had the opposite where they had an easy schedule at the beginning that no one really realized was easier, more like an easy schedule in the middle, and their end of the schedule is hard. So like when you look at them and Vitality right now, they're tied, right? Excel and Vitality are both 3 and 4, but they're not tied at all because Vitality still has to play Astralis, and right now everyone beats fucking Astralis. So yeah, I think that XL to me is already in the 7th place spot, 7th, 8th place spot, even though their record still indicates that they're tied for 6th.
to see more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, be a pleb and don't.